Derek Carr's time with the Saints looks to be over, and he could seriously play on a new team this year.
There is still a chance, as of right now, that Derek Carr becomes free. Maybe the Steelers, maybe the Titans. I mean,
NFL insiders are unfairly attacking Carr, claiming he is lying about his current injury. Honestly, this is probably one of the craziest stories in the entire NFL offseason. There's so many layers to this, we gotta break it down. 2 weeks before the draft, the NFL world was hit with some big news that Derek Carr appears to have an injury.
a decision is coming from Carr on how he is going to proceed. And yes, surgery is an option. If Derek Carr did in fact have surgery, it would likely take him off the field at the very least the start of the 2025 season.
Because of the timing of this report a few weeks before the draft, making it known to the NFL world that the Saints would be desperate for a quarterback in the draft and potentially picking one at pick 9, a lot of people are speculating that Derek Carr is not being truthful with this injury. You even have Diana Rossini making this tweet. She's part of The Athletic, the New York Times. She said there are many around the league wondering if there is more to this story. Now, just to be clear, the last time that Derek Carr injured his shoulder was an AC joint sprain during the 2023 season, and he kept playing. He did not miss a starting game despite the fact that he was dealing with that shoulder injury. This type of injury is actually pretty intense. Anthony Richardson, during his rookie season, had the same injury that Derek Carr had, and he went on IR and missed the entire season. The Colts had Gardner Minshew starting instead. So Carr did have an injury to the shoulder that usually puts people out for the entire year, and he decided to play through it. Now he's wondering if he should play through it again with an organization that has not fully gotten behind him. Saints reporter Jeff Duncan, who is really close to the organization, so close that wide receiver Michael Thomas, when he left the Saints organization, referred to him as a hoe, saying that the Saints leak information to him to try to ruin players' value. Well, this guy is also saying that the Saints believe there is more to the story.
There's definitely speculation from the Saints that this is not it's an injury, but there's more going on to it than just his injury. I can tell you that from people on Airline Drive.
So right now you have NFL insiders going on the offensive, attacking Derek Carr, attacking the validity of this injury. Diana Rossini of The Athletic basically said he's lying about it.
I wonder if there is a little bit of, let's just call it an excuse made here with the shoulder, so Derek doesn't look bad asking for a trade because of the situation.
Yeah, I think it makes him look worse. Honestly, like if you're going to say that, just say you want to trade. There's plenty of that. And I know he's trying to like tiptoe around it. It's so fitting to be honest nowadays because everyone asks for a trade. You're not the only person to ask for a trade. You're not a bad teammate.
The failed quarterback Chase Daniel doesn't really have the full picture here. Derek Carr seems to have been honest with the Saints this entire offseason. Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football reported that Carr wanted a trade, wanted out in March.
We know ourselves, so as well, we can say this for sure. He was open to being traded.
Not open, wanted to.
Open to being released.
Yeah.
Wanted was hoping. Wanted an exit. Yes. Wanted the exit. Did not want to come back. He wanted to play football for another team that was not the New Orleans Saints.
We also have this popular report by Jeremy Fowler of ESPN in March, where he said several NFL sources believe Derek Carr was open to testing the market in recent weeks, possibly filling the void with a QB-needy team. Multiple teams in the market were made aware of this. You had multiple reports around this time saying that teams were monitoring the Derek Carr situation. And when you look at the top free agent quarterbacks in this cycle, Sam Darnold and Geno Smith, I like both of these guys, but Derek Carr definitely has more proven tape than all the quarterbacks that were available this free agency besides maybe Aaron Rodgers. So that doesn't really make sense to say that Derek Carr has been dishonest here, not upfront here, when he was open about the fact that he wanted to leave the New Orleans Saints according to some of these other reports. And that's because the Saints don't appear to be committing to him beyond 1 year, are very open about the fact that they are moving in a new direction with a new head coach and want to draft a quarterback and look towards the future. And that's great. They should have let him go. Instead, they decided to restructure his contract, forcing him to stay with the New Orleans Saints for this year in 2025. The Saints are basically holding Carr hostage, wanting him to waste a year of his career as a bridge quarterback in a busted, wasted season where they're planning on moving on from the guy anyways. Diana Rossini doubled down, saying that she thinks Derek Carr doesn't want the Kirk Cousins treatment, and she also said she believes Carr is not thrilled with the Saints at this point. What I don't understand is how how is Derek Carr the bad guy here? These NFL insiders really can't make sense of this. They're trying to attack this guy's character when these people are usually preaching players' rights. They support the NFLPA, they support the union, they think the players should fight for what they want, get every dollar that they can get. Why don't they have the same attitude when it comes to Derek Carr? Carr, like any player, is pondering the possibility of surgery. It is up to him to decide what to do with his body. It is up to him to decide, hey, maybe I'll play a whole season with a messed up shoulder because I think this opportunity is worth it. He could make that decision or decide, hey, maybe I should take care of this real serious injury rather than play through it this year and make it worse for a team that doesn't even seem to really want me. Why would Carr not use his injury as leverage against the Saints, a billion-dollar NFL team? These insiders usually root for David versus Goliath. Carr is using the little bit of power he has to look out for his best interests. Former Saints offensive lineman and teammate of Derek Carr pondered the possibility that he is using this as leverage.
It makes complete sense. If you know that you're not a part of the future 2, 3, 4 years from now, why quote unquote waste your time spending one season somewhere where you know you're not wanted? I totally understand that, and it makes sense.
We've already shown how Derek Carr does have an injury, and JT the Brick, part of Raider Nation Radio, part of Raiders Team Media, made a great post today amidst a lot of these NFL insiders attacking Carr, saying Derek Carr is a man of faith and has never been accused of lying about an injury. The guy has played his ass off in Oakland and Vegas. Say what you want about his skill set, but very hard to question his character. A few NFL insiders are questioning his ability to play, the timeline of the injury. I would side with Carr, knowing him and his passion to play and win. I've gone a step further. Even if Derek Carr can play through this injury, it is his choice, it is his body and his decision to make. The Saints cannot force him to not have surgery, and they cannot force him to play with a messed up shoulder. And if Carr finds a new opportunity this year and feels like it's worth it to play through that injury, that is also his choice, and I believe it is still possible. We're going to talk about this right now, that Carr could land on another team in 2025 and play. Remember, the Tennessee Titans, who hold the #1 pick in the draft, say that they're all in on Cam Ward, and this report by Adam Schefter, though, shows that they may be open to other opportunities. So the Titans have become increasingly impressed with Ward. While they are expected to listen to offers for the #1 pick, it now would take an even stronger package to acquire the draft's top selection. So they're basically saying, we love Ward so much that if you want to trade for the top pick, it's going to cost a lot. So it sounds like the Titans, this was just 10 days ago, are still shopping the #1 overall pick. Remember, the head coach of the Titans, Brian Callahan, he was Derek Carr's QB coach in 2018, and also his dad is Bill Callahan, a good friend of John Gruden, who coached Derek Carr during his best years with the Raiders. So I would not be surprised if the Titans are still an option, but the Steelers are even more intriguing because we all forget that early this March, Derek Carr was considered a possibility to go to the Steelers by Ian Rappaport, and the Steelers still don't have a QB today.
There is still a chance as of right now that Derek Carr becomes free. So you have a team like maybe the Steelers, maybe the Titans. I mean, there are options out there for him.
Even though the Saints restructured Carr's contract, have already paid him basically $40 million, they can still trade him after June 1st, after the draft. And the Saints would only eat $19 million this year. They have over $25 million in cap space. This is very possible, especially if a team like the Steelers and the Titans aren't satisfied at the quarterback position after the draft. These Saints insiders believe it's over with Derek Carr and the Saints. He's probably going to be on IR this entire year is what they predict. But I think the Saints will and should release or trade Derek Carr after June 1st so he doesn't have to be around this fan base that has never accepted him. One of them talked about the fact that maybe he's just tired of his family hearing the abuse.
And I'm at the point where I kind of feel like he just does not want to play in New Orleans again. I think Derek Carr is a guy who, I mean, obviously he's like really a family guy. And I think like all this, the backlash that he's heard, I think it's probably like, he probably like, you know what? I don't really want my wife, my kids around that anymore, and I'd like to move on.
I mean, this is a fan base that literally when Michael Thomas was talking trash on him online, saying that he got Chris Olave hurt on purpose, this is a fan base that sided with Michael Thomas saying this ridiculous crap. Carr literally had the perfect response to Michael Thomas's tweets, and it still wasn't good enough for the fans.
You know, I've had so many teammates over the years, and he's like the one dude that didn't get along with me, you know. And I don't know what I did to him. I don't know why he feels that way. I'm sorry, you know, for whatever he's dealing with to make him feel like he's got to do that. I don't know, you know. But he's never called me during any of this, you know. My phone number has never changed. You know, I've I've in fact called him on different occasions, just to try. And sometimes you can try as hard as you want, and it just doesn't work out, and that's okay.
In Derek Carr's first season, there was drama with Michael Thomas, but they were still only one game away from making the playoffs and winning the entire division. In his second season with the Saints, it was covered with injuries, but this entire time, the Saints fan base has been constantly attacking Derek Carr and blaming him for everything wrong with the Saints organization, even though that's an organization that has tons of problems even before Carr got there. And they've sided with players like Michael Thomas because they know people like him, so they agree with his criticisms of Derek Carr. They root for him because Michael Thomas has a great reputation with the Saints organization for what he's done a long time ago. But honestly, I don't see the problem that Saints fans have with Carr right now. He's trying to give you what you want. You don't like the guy as your quarterback. He is trying to be free. He is trying to see his other opportunities. He is trying to heal and allow all of you Saints fans to enjoy another QB under center this year if that's what you want. And I believe there is nothing he could have done this offseason to make Saints fans happy. He was criticized for not being in New Orleans during Super Bowl week. I said, even if he was there in New Orleans during Super Bowl week, he's been dead silent in the media, hasn't said a word about Kellen Moore. But even if he spoke to the media about how stoked he is for this season, it would never be enough for Saints fans. They've always shit on him. They've always been completely rotten to him. During the Michael Thomas drama, he was a straight up professional, and they still trashed the guy. So in my view, the Saints should just move on from Derek Carr as soon as possible after June 1st. Give the fans what they want. Give Derek Carr what he wants. Free Derek Carr from your trash fan base, New Orleans. I'm sorry, I've lost a lot of respect for Saints fans during the Derek Carr era. I was rooting right beside Saints fans during Derek Carr's tenure with New Orleans. But it's one thing to not like somebody as a football player. It's another thing to do what I've seen a lot of Saints fans do, is attack this guy's character and attack who he is. And I just don't feel like that's right. And I feel like it's unfair for a lot of these NFL analysts also to continue to attack his character when I thought it was all about players' rights and players should be able to exercise any little leverage they have against these billionaire NFL corporations and companies. I thought we were all rooting for the little guy, but apparently not when it comes to Derek Carr. I will be live during the NFL draft, so make sure you join me live on this channel during the NFL draft. We'll be breaking down and reacting to everything happening, and we're definitely going to be eyeing pick 9 for the New Orleans Saints, and we'll see what happens with Derek Carr this year.